continue to build that pressure, continue to play that field position, and someone will crack and someone will get some joy out of it.
Well, 40 minutes to potentially decide it, and as we said, if it isn't decided in the next 40 minutes, it is golden point extra time. Not sudden death tonight, to remind you. It is another week for both these teams at the very least. Whoever wins this gets a week off. They go into the semi-final as such, one game away from the grand final. Whoever loses here tonight gets another chance to play against one of the lower qualified top 8 teams and a chance to make the semi-final.
No officials.
No, we haven't, have we?
No officials.
No referee.
They've
Where's the
fallen
referee?
asleep.
Where's the referee? Oh, here he is. And Dave Merrick's eventually coming running out. He was probably on the phone listening to Ian Smith talking about what a wonderful time he's having in his budgie smugglers, sitting by the pool in Perpignan, that he forgot he had a match to referee. Come on, Dave. Anyway, we're about to get the second half underway. Just make sure that 13 aside. There we go. And boot is put to ball to start this second period. And it's going to be Halifax who get the early touch here. So how do we see the dynamics of this game changing in this second half?
I think we'll see very much the same as far as we've seen in the first half, to be fair. I think both sides look to execute the players when they get in the opposite end of the field, but I'm sure that it's going to be safety first the early part of this game, but they'll start opening up as the game goes on. Footwork
at the line. They need footwork at the line because of these slippery conditions. It is difficult to when you're defending to try and tackle someone if they're putting footwork on. Errors, the mistakes, they need to be cut out, and someone needs to take that chance. Someone needs just to have a chance. Bit of second phase from Sheffield maybe will open them up.
Here's Morel with a good kick, but Quentin Olatabaga is back there to catch it on the full again. A little turn, but it's a very good chase by Halifax. You'd expect that so early in the second half. Lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, so there was nowhere to run for QLT on that occasion. You simply find the position and play the ball as quickly as you can. Here's Armstrong, the latest to wrestle his way forward. Sheffield looking for a bit of grunt and grind, and Peter Green again continuing that excellent game he's having, just finding a little envelope in which to run. Closes quickly, but he just found a little bit of extra room forward. So James Davey at dummy half, still in the absence of Andrew Henderson. This is Mensah-Yere with the first destructive run of the night from him, causing the problems down that left-hand side, and Halifax is back on their heels at the moment. Dummy shown by Knowles. 25 metres out, 5 tackles gone. Davey rolling it back to Walker. Now Brambani. Brambani turns and puts the ball in the air. An easy one though for Ricky Sharif. Not too much pressure at all there, was there?
A little bit too easy for Sharif to get that. He took it well, but I think Mark Aston will want that Sheffield defence, and they've given a penalty away again, surrendering this field position. Brambani, and it initially came from a quick play of the ball, so not the best kick, and obviously not the best chase as well, so they'll be disappointed with that.
Well, there's a bit of frustration for the home team. Halifax given a little bit of encouragement early in this second half. 2.5 minutes of the half played, and an initial drive forward by Devorty. Here's Holden, spinning it away. Dummy shown. Morel is tackled. Here's Holden again. Ambler driving it forward. Held up by 3 Sheffield defenders. Want to get the arm free, but he can't. So he goes to ground. Holden again now, stands and waits, eager to get on with this as quickly as he can. Handforth now, jabs the kick through, and the chase is on. Brejcek's after this, goes to ground to collect it. Did well to get it, and might have got to the line. I tell you what, how about that for determination? Andy Brejcek getting there, but not only getting there, taking it that extra yard further. And it's thrown up to the video referee, so let's hear from Chris Leatherbarrow again.
So we're looking for onside, offside first. She paws on his foot. Yep, they're all on the side there. We'll play it through. So they're all on the side. Picks the ball up clean. He's not held. He's fighting. We need a close-up on the grounding, please. So he's onside. He gets up. He's fighting. Slow it down if you can. Slow. Short of the line there, he's short, the ball's still up, he's still short. Oof, looks short and rolls on the line. Have we got anything from the side? I don't think this will show anything, but anything from the other side? Right, let's go. So, he's up here, he's fighting. The ball's still in his arm. He's short at that point, he's still fighting, he's not held. Can you play that one again, please? Player's foot's in the line. Player's foot's in the view, so. Can you take that back a little bit, please? Right, so let's slow it down there, frame by frame if we can. Let's go. He's got hold of it, he's got hold of it, he's got hold of it. Oh, the player's leg's in the way. He's got hold of it. He's got hold of it. Have we got anything? Have we got anything else? Or is it just this one from the back? Have we got another one? Let's have a look at another one. Right, this will be the one. Right, let's go. So, the ball's in his arm. Let's make sure there's no separation. Right, the ball's in his arm. But it's okay, that is okay. So it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Ball the points. Can't tell if the ball's on the line. Dave, have you got an opinion of the ball's on the line? Let's take that back again. We're just checking for the separation and the ball on the line. Yeah, play it in full speed. Just whether or not there's a separation before the line. Does he roll it onto the line? No, you can't tell off that. You need it slowing. That's the angle. We need it slowing down again if you can. Right, from there. Right, go. Right, start for me slow. So, he's got contact with the ball all the time there, and then it's. I'm happy with that, Dave. It's a try. Dave, have you got me? It's a try. Yeah, try.
Well, finally, try is given. It took a very, very close look and a very long time. But do we reckon the decision is a right one?
Oh, it's a big one, isn't it? I think the benefit of the doubt maybe to the attacking team. I'm not sure whether Braychek knocked on. Maybe the conditions enabled him to slide that ball over, still in contact with the ball, but a massive call. But what a fantastic effort from Braychek, that.
It was great, and it was that kick along the ground as well that we spoke about earlier. You know, in these conditions it needs to be that, but again, you know, was it a second movement because he was tackled? Yeah.
I think it's interesting when kicked the goal as well. When he actually scored it, I was looking at Braychek's. You know, we had the advantage of the screen, and I think Braychek actually said out on short. So possibly I may have got that wrong, but it's been given now anyway, and well deserved.
Right, well, yes, there's a bit of controversy there, doesn't it?
Possibly.
He might have said, "I'm sure."
Yeah,
I think,
correct.
He might have said, "I'm sure."
I think Ian Smith's probably happy that he's away now.
Sitting in his budgie
I
smugglers.
may have got that totally wrong, Dave, but
well, Tyra's kicked the goal, so it is 6 points to 0. Halifax lead here. Sheffield 0, Halifax 6. So we've got our first try of the night. We're not going to go home scoreless. Here's Wayne Retty, who's going to be held up 25 metres just beyond in his own half. Adamson, head down and arm out and driving it forward again. Wants to get up quickly and play this if he can. And Holden helps it on, but trying to promote it. The ball's gone to ground. Sheffield have got the advantage play here, which is why Vinnie Finnegan has put this kick over the top. It'll jag out of play. Now, is the advantage with a scrum head and feet up there or back down here?
Back down here.
Well, a word there. I mean, in amongst all that kind of talk about whether it was a try or not, what we slightly lost is the fact it was a fantastic effort from Andy Braycheck to actually get close.
It was a tremendous chase from him. It was a good little kick in behind, but it was a tremendous chase and pick up in the wet, and to keep himself moving and keep himself going. A very good work.
Here's Armstrong doing well here, trying to make a bit of space for himself. And Sheffield stung to try and make a bit of a response here, if they can. Here's Garside, Matt Garside. Inside the 20. 4 tackles still to go here, so they've got an excellent position and plenty of time. Higgins, look how powerful he is, taking them to within 10. Davey at dummy half, spinning it to that left-hand side. Walker again now, carries it in to Menzi Yere, and Yere crashing in towards the corner. He's got the offload away, but not before he put a foot in touch. And then Halifax defence can congratulate themselves.
Brilliant defence from Halifax as well. That's the starting point that Mark Aston was talking about at half-time as well. Just splitting that field, making a couple of runners coming through and trying to get an early pass to Menzi Yere. But on that occasion, the Halifax defensive line jumped off that, got to the 10, and superb defence to get Menzi Yere over that touchline.
So head and feed for Halifax, only 10 metres away from their own line, so they've still got a bit of hard labour to do here, haven't they? To try and extricate themselves downfield. Sheffield will know that they step it up here. They can put the pressure on in defence. Make sure Halifax are restricted as much as possible. And it's a decent clear at the moment, up towards the 20 metres. 2 tackles gone. Here comes another big thundering effort. Ambler to his feet, spun back to the middle. Inside pass trying to fox this the Sheffield advancing line, but it doesn't do so. Here's Holden. And Forth just run out of a bit of space, so has to give it away. The kick is not a bad one in the end. Awkward bounce for Turner, so he's very careful here. There was a suggestion of a knock-on from one of the Halifax players, but I think he took it clean in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, it was an awful bounce, but it was a clean pickup. But good kick pressure there on Handforth, and he had to throw the ball back to Fieldhouse.
Well, here things are beginning to happen. Finnegan down that left-hand side. Have a look at this. Can he take it cleanly? Ooh, I think he did. Penalty for Sheffield in the meantime. Bit too much going on in the tackle. So a chance to re-establish themselves inside the Halifax half here.
That's a poor penalty, I think, as well, that Dave, though. It's, you know, they got the ball early to that channel again, and I think that's a soft penalty and just afforded Sheffield some great field position and a tremendous first carry from Liam Higgins.
Good strong effort again from Higgins. Here now comes Green to try and compound that and take them ever closer. Just under 10 metres away and 4 tackles still to come. Excellent position for Sheffield. Davey at dummy half. Looks to that left-hand side. Walker carries it in. Here comes Knowles. Knowles testing the resolve of those Halifax defenders and not finding it wanting. 4 of them dragging him down. But they're still in an ace position here, the Eagles. Spun back again to Walker. Flat, short, Garside urging himself forward. Halifax hanging on. Some really good defence going on here. Sheffield asking the questions the other way. Quentin Lulatagagais dropped it forward, knocked on, the referee says. And that Halifax defence is rewarded again because Sheffield come up with nothing once more.
Yeah, some great work from the defensive side from Halifax, but it's just, you know, they're just looking a little bit lost when they get down inside that 10, 20-metre area, Sheffield. They just need a little bit of direction, need a little bit of a patience there about what they are doing. They've got the ball to Menzi in this second half a couple of times, and you know, and he's caused a little bit of bother. They've just got to get in the right field position first before they go there.
Here's Sharif. Here's the other winger, Retty. Big fella's getting a rest here as the wingers do the business. Trying to relieve a bit of the pressure. Braycheck, the man who scored the only try of the game so far, that took some scoring as well. Took some deciding as well. This is Tyra. Ashall up from dummy half again. So Vivalti, who's put down. Ashall throws it back. Morel with a kick from inside his own 40, but that's not really an issue. He's just looking for distance here down the middle. And Quentin Lolita-Gagai was thinking about letting it roll. It wasn't going to roll. It was a terrific kick. Absolutely perfect kick.
It's a great chase too. A very, very good chase and good first up tackle. They need to make sure no penalties here because they've got a Sheffield team under a little bit of pressure at the moment.
Well, remember, a week off is what they're playing for here tonight. A week without winning money is what they're playing for tonight. But a week off and a big stride towards the grand final with a victory here. Whoever manages to wrestle their way out on top. It's Higgins again, taking it in solidly and powerfully. Couple of tackles left, but they're going to kick relatively early. That's not a bad kick. It was in the 40, but covered well enough by Fieldhouse. And he's got past Armstrong, and here comes Fieldhouse with a breaking run and slipping over. Just when he looked as though he might be herring downfield. It's Braychek. Ashall. Taken in by Ambler. Ashall again. 3 tackles still to go. So forcing their opponents back where they want them to be. Here's Heaton. That's 4. So still a couple of tackles to go. Handforth picks up from dummy half and charges them forward downfield again. So they can see the try line, they can see where they want to be. And here comes the final tackle in this set, the final play in this set. Handforth's kick, it's a good one as well. It's being chased here.
Right.
And they'll claim that. Was it Tyra who got in there? Well, guess what? We're going for the video referee again here. Onside, offside and grounding. So Chris Leatherbarrow, it's over to you again.
Right, so onside, offside, pause on his foot, pause, take it back to his foot, please. So pause on his foot, they're all onside there. So roll it through to the grounding. So they're all onside. Ball's bouncing, ball's bouncing. Ooh. Let's have a look at this one. Ball's bouncing, the ball's bouncing. Steve Tyra goes to ground it. Ball is not grounded, passes into the air and then goes dead. It's a no try and it's a 20-metre restart. No try, Dave, 20-metre restart.
So no try, very clear cut. I don't think anyone's got any arguments with that, have they?
No, I think probably near enough a perfect set from Halifax as well. Stephen Tyra will be disappointed not finishing that as well, and that could come back to haunt them, but started from a tremendous return of the ball from Ryan Fieldhouse, a spread play, a great onside chase from a Handforth kick, and Tyra, like he normally does, he's a fantastic pace with him, but he'll be disappointed he didn't ground that ball.
He looked to try and catch it rather than just put his hands down over the top of it, but it was another one of those kicks on the ground, and you know they've worked out this second half.
Yeah, and every time they've done it, they put pressure on that Sheffield line.
Here comes Hurst. Decent drive inside Halifax territory again. Sheffield picking up momentum here. Davey up from dummy half. Green once more. It's been a solid, honest effort from him tonight. That's tackle 5. Here comes the last. Brambani puts a kick through. Sharif's back there to collect it, but he's dangerously close to his own goal line. He's done well to spin to the ground and take the tackle in the field of play.
This is where they'll be hunting for that error. Great kick chase from Sheffield there now, and looking a little bit tired the Halifax side, and this is where they'll be bouncing off that line. Good shoulder contact, targeting that ball, and looking for that Halifax team to come up with the error. So
they're going through the tackles here. That's 3 gone, an early kick, but Quentin Lolita-Gaga's back there. Oh my word, he just about kept hold of that. He'd have been very disappointed had he not. Whew. It's a close one, wasn't it?
Well, strange kick that so early in the tackle count from well inside your half or inside your 20. Very strange kick, but very, very well from QLT to take it on the full.
Here comes Higgins. Good effort again. Good effort again. There was a catch, just. And now Green, Higgins and then Green, both asking the questions at the moment. Halifax providing the answers. But Walker throws it left, quick on again by Knowles. Terrific play by Knowles, and here's Quentin Lolita-Gagai. in attacking mode this time. That's the 5th. Here comes the last. Halifax lead by 6, but Sheffield looking for a try back if they can. The kick can't thread through, and Halifax fight another day on their own line.
It was a great pull from Michael Knowles there that looked like it was going to create a little bit of problems, but Halifax, you got to give credit to them. They're defending very, very well. Strange kicked that one earlier where he's kicked it straight down the throat. They're leading the game. They don't need to do that. They need to play their sets out and then find touch like they were earlier, just to walk to the scrums. They got the lead at the moment. They don't have to win it twice.
Well, I think we're going to be hearing from the Sheffield bench in just a second as to how things are going. Here comes Morel with a kick. Morel puts a kick downfield. QLT catches it safely this time. More difficult one from his point of view. Runs it back. Oh, he's made the break here. Quentin Lolatagaga over the 40, tracked back by defence. So Sheffield are suddenly getting things going forward again. They want to play it quickly. They'll get a penalty here. They'll get a penalty. And it's been 10 minutes in the sin bin. Well, he's not sure why, but the professional foul is the reason why, isn't it?
Well, I think, yeah, you know, he slowed the play right down, hasn't he? So I think he's got no choice other than to bin him. Great chase, great carry back from QLT. Very, very good tackle from behind.
You can see there Dane Manning going in for the second attempt. So the yellow card produced very quickly. So that's a potential game changer. Halifax down to 12 men for the next 10 minutes, just when Sheffield have their dander up. It's another knock-on. It's a knock-on by Sheffield. Halifax head and feet at the scrum. Survival for Halifax. Let's hear what Mark Aston has to say.
Marcus Simbin there for Halifax. Time to capitalise.
Yeah, we just need to be patient and stop panicking. You know, we're trying to chase the game, and you know, there's no problems for us. We just need to complete and put the ball over at the right times in the right areas. So we're getting a bit of field position now, and they will crack. You know, we showed a lot of energy and a lot of good attitude, and that's what gets you to where you want to get to. So just need to be patient. That's the key for us in the next 20 minutes.
Taking on board what you said to them, the instruction from half time.
Yeah, you know, problems. We just need to be defensively. We've been great. You know, we've been really, really good defensively throughout the 80 minutes, the 60 minutes. But now we just need to be really, really smart with the ball in his hands and play the game in that area of the field, as I say. So, yes, definitely, they're doing the things that we talk about.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Great to hear from the coach in the middle of the game, isn't it? In a playoff game. Mark Aston, the Sheffield coach, happy to give us a bit of his time and a few of his thoughts as well. His pressure's on there, Steve McCormack, in the World Cup.
He did nice and calm as well, wasn't he, Mark? Then that's what he'll instill in his team, that pressure. They're going for an early play again. Knowles is slowly coming to this game as well, whether it be a pivot or that running game, but I think Mark just installs that patience and that calmness into his team. 23
minutes to go, so there's a long, long way before this game is settled, but Sheffield looking to batter their way back, if they can here. Higgins 5 metres away, Sheffield to the left, Walker gets it on. It's been dropped backwards and lost, and Halifax show some real keenness in defence again to get themselves back in possession.
I think that's that patience Mark Aston was just talking about. Menzieri tried that offload out the back rather than just be patient, take that tackle. They can turn the ball over on their try line. There's no offence to that. They turn it over on their try line. Halifax have to work out of there, so they need to be just patient, like he said, and just keep the ball in hand.
I suppose you're allowed to be a little bit calmer on a night when you know it's not the end of the season, even if you lose. But even so, 5 tackles gone. Here comes a 6th. Hanforth gets the kick downfield over the head, but Hanforth was taken late here by Menzieri. The referee is going to give the penalty where the ball landed, which is only 10 metres away from the Sheffield line. Have a look at this, fellas. What do you reckon? Well, it wasn't Yere, was it?
It was a Garside.
Garside.
Tiger will be smiling there, though.
Garside, who came in here. Here's a kick. Wasn't that late, was it?
He sin-binned him anyway.
So Sheffield down to 12 men because Garside has been sin-binned here. So that 10-man advantage, sorry, that 1-man advantage lasted 3 minutes for Sheffield. We've got parity again on the field, 12 aside.
Well, it opens it up a little bit more, doesn't it? They're taking a kick for goal here, which is a good call from them, but Yeah, it does. It opens that field up a little bit. They've just got to, well, both sides now, they just need to make sure they keep working hard. There's still a long time to go. Still need to just carry the ball forward in numbers and just keep working hard with that ball in hand.
So, a chance for a 2-score lead here. It's a big kick, this, for Steve Tyrup. Just settling himself nicely enough. A little idiosyncratic lift of the left knee before he strides forward and boots it over. And 8 points to 0.
Yeah, really impressed with the way Halifax have played this game, to be fair. You know, the defensive effort last 5 or 10 minutes when they have the Sheffield team has tried to spread that ball from right to left and get Menzies and Knowles and QLT into that attacking line, but you know, they've withstood that pressure. Fantastic set, real good kick from Hanforth, and a little bit of ill discipline from Garside.
12 aside is what we're watching at the moment, and what we will be watching for the next few minutes, both with players in the sin bin. But Halifax now have that 8-point lead, weathered a spell of pressure. Tonks was the man who came forward here, and suddenly they have an opportunity. Tyra steps back on the inside. Good cover by Turner to make the tackle a good one, but Halifax have got momentum here, and they've got a bit of a width on that right-hand side as well. Good ball away, and now it's a chance for Retty to have a run. Pinned down by Sheffield defenders. Still a couple of tackles to go, though, so still an opportunity. Adamson is put down. Here's Morel. Just a big, heavy hit forward again by Tony Tonks, who's only 5 metres away, but that's 5 tackles gone. Here comes a 6. Morel again, threading it through. Morel will carry on and sliding it in.
No try.
No try, knock on. Well, no complaints either from Scott Morel. Yeah, he got that right as well, didn't he?
Well, he was right on the spot. He's in good field position there, Dave Merrick, to adjudicate on that, and a good call.
So Morel denied, Halifax denied, but they still lead by the 8. And with 20 minutes left, Sheffield have to score twice and can't concede again if they are going to win this game.
I think he's just brought Andrew Henderson back on the field as well, just that calming influence within that Sheffield team.
This Stringer gets it away. Brambani with a kick. Fieldhouse collects, but close to his own goal line. Armstrong gets a hold of him, but Fieldhouse wriggles away from potential danger.
Another early kick there, Dave. You know, you'd like to see them just chance their arm a little bit. You know, they had some numbers here. Everyone was pushing through and just trying that little kick, and they haven't executed it well enough to put any real pressure on. If it had sat into the in goal, yeah, maybe get a repeat set, but they haven't executed that well enough, and they're kicking very early in the tackle count.
Quick play of the ball. This is Sharif. Sharif, neat work to get past one, but Brambani comes across to make the tackle a good one. That's the 5th. Here comes the last again. Morel again jabbing it towards this corner. It's going to roll out of play. It's a good kick, good end to the set.
Superb, and it's obviously highlighted, or something that Carl Harrison's highlighted, which zone that they want to keep this ball in from a kick. You know, Scott Morel's pinpointed Scott Turner on every single occasion when he's kicked that ball, whether they're keeping the ball away from Menzies and that opposite side, but the kicking game and the tactical kicking game from a Halifax point of view, you know, I think has been superb.
Clock stop for a moment here, and then it starts again. Oh, it's a poor pass.
Knock on.
Knock on. Well, what a dreadful error from the scrum from Sheffield's point of view. What a lift for Halifax. He just couldn't quite get hold of the ball, could he?
Not sure if it went
a
forward.
Knock on though, was it? He passed it back. I didn't see QLT knock it on. I thought it was just a bad pass back.
So here come Halifax with a bonus set of 6. Searching down that right-hand side if they can. Yeri's being urged to move away quickly. Hanforth down that blind side. It's Retty causing the problems. Hanforth's in again here. Slowed up just a little. Tossed back towards the middle of the field. Sheffield defence coming out quickly to meet them. 3 gone, 3 to go. This is Tonks, who drives it in. A real surge as well. They needed the cavalry in red to get there to make sure he wasn't going to make the distance on that occasion. Ashall bends his back and throws it back. Morel with a dummy. Tries to work his way in. There's some grim defending going on down the middle on that occasion. Now the chip from Ashall. It was still the last, not played at. And Henderson will make the tackle. Knowles rather will make the tackle. And Sheffield get the ball back here.
Well, I think Tonks thought that he played at that because Knowles didn't even pick that up. Then he just played it with his foot. But I thought Tonks must have thought that he played at it and was going to rule 6 again because he just dived on it. Obviously didn't hear the call. So another let off for Sheffield. This is what they need, that second phase from Stringer.
Terrific work from Mitch Stringer on that occasion. And here comes Tom Armstrong down this right-hand side. 2 tackles gone. They're already 10 metres inside their opponent's half. Time is running out for the home team. Here's Shostak. 16 minutes left to play. 8-0. Sheffield being nilled on their own patch. This is Brambani. He's put down. Henderson stands and waits at dummy half again. To that left-hand side. Walker now will put the chip over the top. Retty's got it red. And so too has Fieldhouse, but the defence is good enough to force them back behind the goal line.
They'll be happy with that. That's a good kick, good chase. The patience that Mark Aston has been asking for his side for the majority of this game. Halifax just one of the players just down there, you know, whether he's hurt or whether he's given his team a little bit of a minute. But good pressure, good field position, and a great opportunity for Sheffield Eagles to get on the scoreboard this next set.
You always wonder, don't you, when you see an injury in this situation. It's a superbly well-flighted kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, very well judged. Landed just short of the try line and carried over into the in-goal. So very, very well done.
So Fieldhouse is taking as long as he possibly can here. Manning about to come back on. Dane Manning. So we have our first side restored to 13. Sheffield still down to 12 because Garside's still off in the sin bin, of course. Here comes the drop. Oh, the bat is a good one. Firm turf despite the recent wet weather of the last couple of days. Here's Stringer. Henderson out from dummy half. Now it's Batty, Eddie Batty. Relatively fresh from a spell on the bench.
Dropped it.
Knock on.
They're the costly mistakes that the Mark Aston won't be happy with. He's getting up to play the ball. A little bit of a hand in there maybe, but he needs to take full control of that football when he's getting up to play it.
Well, he'll be frustrated, young Eddie Batty. So will his teammates, because they know they've got a defensive stint to do again here. Morel feeds the ball. Halifax simply know that they just have to grind this out now, this next 14.5 minutes. Restrict their opponent's possession as much as possible. Manning back on the field. Halifax back to 13. And for 2 and a bit more minutes, they will have that one-man advantage. Ashall pops it back on the inside. Sheffield working harder than they would like at the moment to try and restrict their opponents. Here comes Adamson. Towards, but not quite reaching that 20-metre mark. That's the 5th. Here comes the 6th. Handforth again, putting it back against the grain, but Brambani's got that red and throws it to QLT as quickly as possible. Let's see if he's capable of any magic here. No, he's not. Very nearly dragged behind his own goal line as well. And a frustrating knock from him. Oh, it's been lost. Knocked on. Knocked on. Sheffield desperate to get away from their own line, have committed another handling error.
Well, I think that's been the difference maybe between the two teams, is the kick chase. You know, the Halifax team, they've had 2 good kickers in Morel and Handforth, so they've had 2 options either side of that play the ball, and the kick chase has been superb. On that occasion, QLT got pinned right on his trial, and that put real pressure on Tom Armstrong to get that ball and carry the ball away.
Offered to those in support. Halifax 10 metres out with 5 tackles to come, and that was a knock-on. So that didn't last long. Knock-on from Ashall, I think, at the play the ball. And so it's Sheffield's head and feed. You drop it, we drop it.
Bad mistake there. Heaton, I think it was.
Yes, it was before the play the ball, wasn't it?
Just lets them off the hook, gives them another little lifeline, the Sheffield team.
But they are desperate now to get down the other end as quickly as possible. 13 minutes just under to play. And remember, Sheffield have to score twice. Halifax just have to see it out defensively. Here's Batty. Keeps safely hold this time. Takes it beyond the 20. Henderson patiently waits at dummy half.
I think we'll see a spread play now, Dave, from this set. I think they'll get the ball as early as they possibly can now to that opposite side.
Henderson spinning it away. Here it comes. Brambani, not the best of passes, skids past Walker. Very often on those circumstances when the ball goes to ground, it wrong puts the defence and opens things up. Not this time. Halifax swoop in numbers and Sheffield restricted. Pick up Walker, little chip. Menzies is after this, kicks it on. The referee says play on. Finnegan, I think, might have knocked it on anyway. So Fieldhouse is on an advantage play here. Fieldhouse brings it forward and will take the 0 tackle there.
Good defence from Halifax. I mean, one thing you have to do if you're going to spread the ball is spread it on the front foot. And it was a great defence from a Halifax point of view. The play before that big wide pass, not the best pass from the pivots, and good defence from that right side of the Halifax team.
A little bit of panic play from Sheffield as well. There's still plenty of time left, and a little chip over the top, just a chance thing. You know, they could have ran the ball and done the same thing instead of turning it over.
Here's Fieldhouse. Play on, says the referee. Fieldhouse tackled at the second attempt. So it looks like Sheffield are going to be back with their complete 13 in just a moment. Matt Garside ready to make his re-entrance. Here he comes. So they're both back to 13 apiece. It's rugby league as we know it again. 11 minutes to play. Just the one try in the whole game. But you don't always need lots of tries for good games in rugby league, do you?
No, you don't. You know, you've got to credit the Halifax defensive efforts. They've been tremendous defensively, and they've really improved their kick chase in the second half. Different kicking game. First half they'll kick in to find the line, walk to the scrum, slow the play down. Second half they've been putting the ball along the ground, and the chase on those kicks has been really good and put Sheffield under a lot of pressure.
And it's become a bit of a, I was going to say a Thursday night cliche. It is of course a Friday night tonight, but a cliche on these occasions that it goes to the very end, but not with handling like that. Sheffield are not going to push Halifax too close if they keep throwing it away.
No, they're looking to go wide, which is fine, but like Walker's throwing the ball 5 metres from the defensive line. He's not bringing any defenders into him, so they're just sliding off anyway, and the execution hasn't been good enough. They need to, when they're playing out the back like that, Walker needs to straighten up, take the ball to the line and play at the line a little bit.
So Halifax with Morel. High tackle, penalty for Halifax.
He's put his arm up the wrong way there, Dave. Now he's got it right.
Just winning that arm wrestle again out the Halifax as well. They've withheld all that pressure that Sheffield has put on the line, but defensively and the territory have all been Halifax's way, and the penalty count now is just going Halifax's way, and you've got to probably fancy him. Tonks has had a big spell this second time he's been on there, and they've been very impressive when they've had the ball.
Tonks put down eventually, but only just over 20 metres away. So Halifax winding themselves up again here with another 5 tackles still to come. This is a very decent effort driven in by Davis, who's going to be 12 metres out when he's put down. Tonks is having another go here in this set. So the big man doing a bit of damage. 3 tackles gone, 3 to go. 10 metres out, it's a drop goal. Craig Ashall deciding we're down there, so we might as well add another point. I'm not sure what that does to the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of that play. That's an instinctive play from him. I think he's just done that off the cuff. All it does is gives them another point, but it puts them under the pressure now of having to bring the ball back from their line. Sheffield had to score twice anyway. They still got to score twice. Steve?
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe, psychological, it's another point, but that's just a shocker.
And they're offside. He's called them offside.
All right.
Well, suddenly the drop goal looks like a very good decision, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do we know?
What do we know, yeah.
It's the anticipation of what happens next, and it's Mensah-Yere who's off there.
But you don't normally see that from a Sheffield team. You know, if they, they'll discipline from that. One thing that they are, they do the little things right, the Sheffield team, and I think Mark Aston will be a little bit disappointed with certain aspects of that play. You know, they're normally very professional. Things like that, you very rarely see this team do that.
Well, a bit to work on, Sheffield, before next week. If they can't turn this one around, they will be at home next week, of course, against one of those sides who have finished in the bottom half of the playoffs. Batley, Dewsbury, Doncaster, Workington. Not knock on there. Spun away. He's a little loose at the moment, but Halifax are keeping the ball going backwards. That's the most important thing. So here's Hanforth. This is Morel. Fieldhouse stepping off the left foot again. Dummy runner went into the defenders, so obstruction.
At this stage of the game, Halifax need to be looking to the future games. They need to be playing like it's a sudden death game and grinding the win out. They've got the win in the bag, but they can lose it very quickly if they don't watch the way they play. You know, and they need to take this advantage if they're going to be in the big games at the end of the year to make sure they grind this one out and win it well and win it professionally.
There's Garside, who should be fresh, having spent a bit of time on in the sin bin. Henderson, Batty, Brambani. Here's Walker, sweeping it across the line. Knowles with a kick over the top. Oh, Fieldhouse has missed it. It's picked up by Vinnie Finnegan. It's an absolute gift, and we've still got a game on here. 7 minutes left to play.
Oh, he's gone to the screen.
If this is given as a try. Let's hear the thoughts of Chris Leatherbarrow, our video referee.
So we're checking onside, offside. Pause on his foot. The winger's okay there. Have you got another angle on that though, just before we run it through? Wide angle. Looks okay from that one. Have you got a wide? Got the wide. Yeah, it looks okay though. Play it through. Yeah, just pick the ball up cleanly. He's running, and he's grounded the ball. That's a try.
Sheffield 4, Halifax 9. It's the unlikely scoreline, with only about 7 minutes left to play. But it means we have a terrific finish on our hands again here, potentially. Dom Brambani looking to narrow the gap by a couple more if he can. He won't want to take too long with this. Over it goes, the flags are raised. It's 6 for Sheffield, 9 for Halifax. A try could still win this for the home side.
Well, it certainly can, you know, and again, I would have liked Walker to take that ball to the line a bit. I thought he passed well too early. It was just a fortuitous bounce from a decent kick from Knowles, and great work from Finnegan to pick the ball up and run around and score the points. But again, you go back to Halifax, the drop goal, the penalty for the obstruction. You know, they need to grind the wins out in these big games, the important games.
So here comes Sheffield, looking to carry it forward with gusto now in what remains of the game. 6 minutes to go, so lots of time in terms of scoring a try. Plenty of time for Halifax to hold their nerve and make their tackles. That's all that's required from those in blue and white. But those for the Eagles will test them every inch of the way. Here comes Batty. Big physical effort in attack and defence from both sides. Henderson up from dummy half, sees a little bit of a gap, tries to wriggle his way through. That was the 5th. Here comes the last. Brambani spins it out. It's going to be Walker who puts it high. Tester here. Retty underneath it on that far side, pouches it safely, not too much pressure again, and manages to run it back. And that's all that Halifax require here, keeping their nerve and keeping their mental.
Good catch and a great carry from Retty there, under enormous pressure from that left side from Knowles and Walker, but superb take, and cleared his line exceptionally well. Outstanding.
And I think that's been the difference, Steve. The kick chase from Sheffield as compared to Halifax. Halifax kick chase has been tremendous. Reddy then, great job to bring the ball back the way he did, and that wasn't as good from the Sheffield team.
And that makes the difference between bringing the ball 5 or 10 metres from your line, and then Halifax are now in good ball situations. So, you know, you can't underestimate how important your wingers are.
Oh, here comes the break. Suddenly there's an opportunity here. Anderson puts it on the inside. That's the game. That's the game. It's the winner. No doubts now. Handforth underneath the sticks. And even a hug for the referee. After a night of tension, it is Halifax who are going home with the spoils. Handforth in support, finishing it off. And just when they were under pressure, a try that gives them relief again.
Well, tremendous effort. You can see what it means to the Halifax players. They're all in there. Great play of the ball. Good carry forward. I don't know who.
It was Adamson who made the break, wasn't it?
Adamson, and great support from on the inside from Handforth. But a good carry. Missed tackle from all people that don't normally miss the contact. Hendo, he's normally very, very strong around that middle of the park. But great work. And look at it. It means huge, huge joy from the Halifax side.
Well, we're denied our dramatic finish, but we have the joy of a celebration of a match winner from Paul Handforth. They're going to stop the clock here for Tyra to take the kick at goal. But Carl Harrison surely knows now that his side have done their job. And they get a week off next week. And a chance to rep themselves up for a home game in a semi-final with a grand final at stake. Here comes Tyra, steps forward, right-footed, hooks it between the uprights. It is 6 for Sheffield. It is 15 for Halifax. And what a finish there.
How good's this championship? You know, every single week we see games like this. You know, I know Super League's fantastic, but this division, Championship 1's exactly the same thing. The quality of rugby you've seen. First half wasn't an open game, defence is on top, but you've got to give an awful lot of credit to Halifax. I think the performance so far has been superb. Sheffield will learn from this and obviously bounce back, but you know, I think the night belongs to Halifax.
So Halifax looking to work themselves out of trouble. Well, all the drama taken out of the game now, you'd have thought, but for something astonishing. So with two and a half minutes left to play as the ball is moved out to this left-hand side, and Devorty, who's taken high, it's a penalty. So, Dave Woods, who's your man of the match here tonight?
Well, I think, you know, Sheffield have had a couple of decent performers. I think Michael Knowles has been by far their best. I think Halifax, you know, you've got to credit their defence. I thought Ashall around the middle of the park was very good, although he came up with a couple of poor kicks. The big front rowers, Tonks and Ambler, have been tremendous in both halves. And I think, you know, quick little chat with Steve, I think we've gone for Paul Handforth tonight. I think he's been outstanding. He's just calmed them down. He's carried the ball when he's had to. He's got a couple of good little kicks away. Neat little kicks in this second half back along the ground, and just backed up there for that good try to win the game for him.
So here's the Kingston Press man of the match, Paul Handforth. Here's Morrell. Halifax with a job done. Taken in by Devorty. 6 for Sheffield, 15 for Halifax. A minute and 20 seconds left to play. Oh, Morrell's going. Morrell's going again. Another creative little kick. Another celebration. And another second closer to winning this game and earning themselves that right to find themselves one match away from the ultimate prize.
Well, the kicking game's been outstanding, whether it be a long kicking game from Morrell, but on that occasion it was a short kick. He tried it a couple of sets earlier, about 10-15 minutes earlier, didn't quite get that, but I think that's probably where they've won it, the kicking game, the kick chase, and they've had both half-backs being a real threat. Handforth on that right-hand side, Morrell on this left-hand side, Ryan Fieldhouse just looping around and giving them that extra option, but the execution of the kick and the class of Morrell has been outstanding.
And I think, you know, Handforth put a lot of pressure on Manzieri early defensively and did very well. And then both halves have changed their kicking style in this second half and have been placed, and I don't think they've kicked one high and wide. They've been kicking them along the ground and going one way and kicking back the other. and it's worked a treat for him. That you've got to credit the chasers as well, because the chasers from the Halifax side have been superb, and they make that kick even better than what it is.
Quite unpredictable with the kicks as well, Dave, haven't they? They've a couple of little banana kicks across field, and obviously putting that pressure with the kicks along the floor. But they've been excellent.
Here comes Tyler with a kick. No problems, absolutely no problems. So 6 for Sheffield, 21 now for Halifax. It looks a lot easier than it has been for such a long time. A low-scoring game, but it was a burst of points towards the end that made it dramatic for a moment. But comfortable in the end for Carl Harrison's Halifax side. They get the week off next week. They get home advantage in the semi-final. Michael Knowles and his Sheffield team have to go around next week. It's suddenly a lot harder than it might have been